Hello and welcome back to Barca Admirers. Today's episode brings you the daily news updates and the transfer roundup about Barcelona. So make sure you watch this video till the very end without skipping. If you are new to our channel, then please subscribe to us and hit that bell icon to stay notified whenever we post. On top of that, we have now also launched the membership option. If you want to be a member of our channel, then press that join button beside the subscribe icon and do the needful. Your support will help us run our channel and provide you with such content daily. The perks of membership have already been enlisted over there. Now before we begin, a small shout out to OneFootball. If you are a football fan and want to stay updated about the plethora of latest news coming up in the vast world of football, then OneFootball is the best app for you. Be it the latest news updates, transfer rumors or update about club or international football, OneFootball has got it all covered. It is completely free to use and its biggest perk is that it gives you real-time match updates whenever a game is being played out, and whenever there's a major incident in the game, you will be notified by the app. You can select your favorite club and it will suggest you personalized articles. In my case, it's definitely Barcelona. Be it game statistics, current form of your team or individual performances of your players, you get it all. La Liga, Champions League, English Premier League, Serie A, World Cup, Bundesliga, League One, MLS or AFC Champions League, everything you want, it's here. So go ahead, check it out. Link to download the app is given in the description of this video. Now that's enough talking, let's get straight down to the point without any further delay. For the first news update of the day, Spanish news publication Mundo Deportivo reports that Sergio Aguero did not start for Argentina in their game against Colombia tonight because he still lacks some rhythm, as explained by the Argentine national team coach Lionel Scaloni. The part that's getting me worried, however, is that whether or not will he be able to find his rhythm in time for Barcelona. Let's hope he does. Moving on to the next news update, according to a report published by reliable journalist Adria Albets, those who are close to Sergio Busquets say that he is fine now after testing positive for COVID-19 yesterday, and he is waiting to see how his recovery evolves before rejoining the national team ahead of the upcoming Euros. Up in the next one, we have some really good news as reported by Transfer Market. It is stated that Frenkie De Jong has been named as the most valuable player in La Liga based on the future transfer potential. His performances have been flagged up as a key indicator of his possible future value to the Catalans with an estimated figure of 138 million. Up next, in one of its news programs last night, TV3 reported that Ronald Koeman is very clear that he needs to further strengthen the midfield, and one of the key pieces in his new project is a midfielder with a good physique and good abilities on the ball, and Barcelona's board are right now searching the market which fits his requirements. Moving on to the next one, in one of its reports, Mundo Deportivo have claimed that Barcelona have totally abandoned the idea of signing free agent Donnarumma. His quality is still highly rated, but Fabrizio Romano has already confirmed of his move to PSG. Besides, the club do not want to generate a complicated situation with the first goalkeeper Marc-Andre Ter Stegen. Interestingly, the report states that Donnarumma was never a genuine option for Barcelona. The club has instead helped agent Mino Raiola by raising the price for PSG. This could help Barcelona in future operations involving Raiola's players. In yet another one of Mundo Deportivo's reports, it is stated that Juan Miranda was let go of by Barcelona because of his absurdly high wages, which were higher than some members of the first team itself. The club is currently negotiating new contracts for Jandro Orellana and Oriol Busquets, also with lower salaries than they had before. Next up, Catalan news channel TV3 has revealed the difference in the salary offer Jorginho Wijnaldum has accepted at PSG compared to Barcelona's original offer. He would have earned 3.5 million euros a year at Barca, but now instead he will earn 9.5 million euros at PSG. No wonder he chose the Parisian club instead of Barca, because they promised him more than double of what our club had offered him initially. Up in the next one, we have a major news update as reported by ARS Sports. The report states that Puma have shown an interest in becoming Barcelona's primary kit sponsor. Barca have a contract with Nike until 2026, but both parties want to sit down and review their agreement. Barcelona want more autonomy in some areas, like self-management of e-commerce, while Nike want to renegotiate the annual amount it pays to the club. Next up, a report published by journalist Luis Martin states that the goal is to bring back 80% of the fans to the stadiums early in the next season in order to ensure that the clubs earn some amount of revenue. Moving on to the following news update, La Vanguardia has published a hugely controversial report claiming that former Barcelona president Josep Maria Bartomeu had paid 600,000 euros to the company that audited the Barca Gate scandal. Oscar Grau and Gomez Ponti both avoided responsibilities in the statement released that Barca had paid 2.3 million euros during 3 seasons to the conglomerate of the companies of the Nice Stream Group in charge of managing the scheme. The Barca Gate scandal was an initiative that aimed at defaming the club's senior players to protect the reputation of the previous board. Next up, we have some good news as a French news outlet has reported that Emerson Royal will have a release clause of 300 million euros with Barcelona, a progressive salary and a signing bonus of 3.5 million euros. Moving on to the next one, we have the comments of Barcelona midfielder Miralem Pjanic. Speaking in an interview with a Spanish news publication, Pjanic said that it is indeed hard to talk about his future at Barcelona right now. He is currently spending his vacation with his family and that is all he is thinking about at the moment. The preparations for the new season will start in July when he joins the team, and that is when he will see what happens with him. Up next, former Barcelona left-back Lucas Digne has spoken up about his time at the Camp Nou. On being questioned about Ernesto Valverde, Digne said that they did not have any connection. He was not a good communicator and it was noticeable. He even had a hard time talking to Messi. However, he did seem to be full of praises about manager Luis Enrique. On being questioned about him, Digne said that they only talked about tactics for 5 or 10 minutes, but it was exactly what happened during the matches on the weekend. When you have coaches who are like this, it is easier to be a player. For the next one, a report by journalist Tony Juan Martí reports that in addition to signing a midfielder and a central defender, Barca are searching the market for a centre forward alongside Memphis Depay. The club is looking for a profile with experience who accepts the role of a substitute. Now that's everything we had for today's news roundup. Moving on to the transfer section, in at number 1, we have a report by journalist Matthews Law. It states that Barcelona target Erling Haaland would be open to a move to Chelsea, whether it is this summer or in the next year. However, Spanish outlet Sport reports in a rather optimistic tone that Barcelona hope to generate the necessary resources this summer to go after a star like Erling Haaland or Lautaro Martinez. Barca believe that in the end, both Borussia Dortmund and Inter Milan would be willing to do business for their strikers. Haaland and Martinez, despite all the difficulties, continue to be the dream of the club. They hope to generate enough cash with the sales, especially with Dembele, to push for a pure number 9. For the next transfer update, we might have some bad news as journalist Matteo Moretto reports that PSG have entered the race to sign Memphis Depay. They have offered him a 5-year contract with 3 times the salary that Barca have offered. Memphis is waiting for Barcelona's response, but the rumors are the club will not raise their bid. They do hope that the player will choose Barca because of Koeman's presence over here. Moving on to the next transfer update, journalist Lucho Di Marzio reports that if Achraf Hakimi leaves Inter Milan, Emerson Royal is one of the main targets to replace him at the Italian club, and Barcelona may choose to offload him if a big enough offer arrives. Up next, journalist Laia Tudel reports that Barca want Ousmane Dembele to stay and renew his contract. There have already been conversations between the club and his agents, and they were positive. In a similar report, news channel TV3 claims that the first talks to renew Ousmane Dembele's contract have already begun. At the club, they believe that he is indeed willing to renew his current deal. There will be a meeting next week to discuss it with the board. However, even if it does renew, they do not discard using him in a swap deal, and if necessary, the board will sell him for between 50 and 60 million euros in this summer or in the next one. Up in the following transfer update, news outlet Sport reports that Barcelona are indeed looking to sign a star player and will rush their options to try to get a top-class defender. Despite the difficulties, the lead remains one of the club's priorities. Next up, reliable news outlet eSports 3 reports that the club is looking for alternatives after the failed signing of Gini Wijnaldum. Players on the list are Ryan Gravenberch, Mikel Merino and Fabian Ruiz. These are complicated signings, but the club does remain interested. For the next transfer update, we have a huge one as journalist Jose Alvarez claims that Barcelona have met with the agents of both Ilkay Gundogan and Riyad Mahrez over a possible transfer in this summer. The report also states that out of the two, Barcelona are seriously interested in Ilkay Gundogan. With Wijnaldum's deal falling through, they consider Gundogan to be a great market opportunity, so much so that they have already met with his agents to talk about a potential move to Barcelona, but nothing has yet advanced. The German international's agent was even at the Camp Nou offices last week. Negotiations are tough, but there was a meeting. However, Gundogan and Mahrez are not the only Manchester City players linked to the club. In his report, journalist Mate Moreto claims that Barca are thinking of Raheem Sterling, who can leave Guardiola's City in this summer. They would have to add players to make the deal accessible, however. Talk about horrible player selection, we have one right here on our hands. I personally hope that this deal never goes through. Moving on to the next one, we have some good news as journalist Luis Canuth reports that Barca are confident of the progression of young Nico Gonzalez, who has had a good season with Barca B. This pre-season, he may have a chance to prove himself in front of manager Ronald Koeman. Moving on to the next transfer update, according to a report by news outlet Sport, the goal of Barcelona's B team is frozen by the first team's second choice goalkeeper Luis Neto. If Barca do not find a way out for him, then Iñaki Peña will not be able to finally be promoted as the second goalkeeper on the first team. This would allow Arnau Tenias to take over the goal for the B team, and he would also be the third goalkeeper of the first squad. The same report also states that Barcelona have secured the services of 22-year-old right winger Ferran Yulga for the B team. The player joins from Espanyol B on a free transfer after having an absolutely prolific season at his former club's youth setup. I definitely count on him as a future star that would benefit the first team as well. Up in the next transfer update, Mundo Deportivo reports that Wolverhampton Wanderers are interested in the services of Carlos Alenia. The Blaugrana would be happy with around 8 million euros in exchange of the midfielder. Now that's everything we have for today's episode. I hope you guys found this video informative. If you enjoyed it, then please subscribe to our channel and hit that bell icon to turn on the post notifications. We post interesting content like this every single day. Now on our last episode, we asked for a total of 450 likes and you guys totally exceeded our expectations. So in this video, we have decided to raise the bar and set a new aim of 550 likes. Please Qlers, help us reach our target on this video as well. Now that's all we have for today's episode. I'll see you guys tomorrow in the next video. Until then, stay safe. Visca el Barça, Visca el Catalunya.